Welcome back, everybody. This is episode 9 of
Yes, sir.
Andinos on the Mic. Welcome back. You already know me.
Yes,
My
sir.
name is David, right? Living 305. I appreciate you guys for coming out. Thanks everybody who's been chatting with us. Thank you again for the chat. Make sure you check out our VODs, video on demands on YouTube. Every time we have an episode, is always up there. Of course, we have my brother right here to the next to me. We got PJ Pops 305. We got my nephew
Yes, sir.
Andino 305, Aiden over here. And guess what, guys? We have a special occasion for you guys. We have two guests, right? So let's go ahead and kick it off introducing ourselves. PJ?
That's really cool. I was just telling him I
Yeah,
felt a little left out. I don't have any numbers after my, name up there, so I don't have 305. But okay.
It's okay.
I'm Janet Vega. I'm Janet Vega. I am the founder of Black Belt AI along with my daughter Jess. Um, Black Belt AI is an AI automation agency. We specialize in voice and conversational agents, along with automation and websites, smart websites, talking websites. We do some really fun stuff. That's who we are.
Okay. And and who's that with you?
Oh,
Jess.
Jess, sorry. Jessica, her daughter, but also co-founder of Black Belt AI. Um, it's a mom and daughter
Oh, that's cool.
partnership.
Family
super cool.
business. I like that.
Mhm.
Cool, cool, cool. We have family right here on the mic,
Yeah.
Andinos.
Yeah.
Family oriented.
Yes, yes.
Hmm.
Very,
All right, so
Yep.
who's gonna kick us off? Aiden, PJ, what we got?
yeah, so I'll go ahead and let's kick this off for the chat, for the viewers. Thank you very much for the support. You guys are the best. We couldn't do this without you guys. So thank you very much. So I'll start off with what is black belt? If you guys can explain a little bit about black belt.
Well, I explained a little bit about what we do. Where the name came from is, everybody when they hear black belt, they immediately think karate, but that's not what it is. Although I did some of that in the past. Um, I am a black belt. It's a process improvement modality professional. So that's where it came from because I've been doing that for over 15 years in the enterprise space. So process improvement is kind of the way my brain works. So that marrying with AI and all the capabilities that it can do has just been kind of, really exciting for me. And so I explained developing voice agents, conversational agents, automation. We automate small businesses, small to medium sized businesses with AI. And so there's a lot of different things that can be done. So what we try to do is if we meet with a business is to really sit down with them and talk about what does their business do, where are the pain points, where are the points of friction, points of revenue being lost, missed opportunities, money being left on the table, those kinds of things. And then we try to point in the quickest wins, the lowest hanging fruit first, so you can get some ROI coming back. And so, and then do, just kind of a strategic rollout of
That's
what can be done.
okay. That's interesting.
Mhm.
Cool. Cool. Sounds good. Who exactly, Jess, is your clients? Who do you guys help?
Really, I don't want to say anything because that's way too broad, but I would say like small, um, local businesses like med spas, uh, small local dentist offices, roofing companies.
Mhm.
Um, those are what we're I would say our
What-
niches right now. Um,
Oh, that's cool.
we are yeah, there's it's not like specific to any type of business. It's more it's the administrative part mostly. So we're not limited to a specific type of business, but that's our focus right now.
Oh, cool,
Awesome,
cool. So
awesome.
when um our podcast blows up, we know who to hire, huh?
You know where we are.
Yes, sir. Thank you,
Exactly.
thank you.
Mhm.
So what kind of problems do you solve? What are the problems? What is,
I think the biggest problems is speed to lead, missed calls. The statistics out there is 40 to 60%, believe it or not, of
Well,
calls go missed from small businesses, whether it's after hours, lunchtime, I'm too busy on this line's,
Wow.
and then people move on, right? And
Yeah.
so when you think about a business, that every call, right, is potentially a client. And depending on what, that amount, of your average client could be, say it's $5,000, right, is your average client. And you missed 10 calls in the month, right? If you can just improve on one of those, obviously 10 times 5,000 is 50,000. That's some significant money left on the table, right?
Hmm.
So even if you can convert just one of those, or two of those, it becomes significant, not only monthly, but over the year. So doing that with the voice agents, follow up, we have automations that will follow up, whether it's text, email, so that they don't fall through the cracks, right? So that's one of the biggest pain points, is that people just have slow follow up or no follow up.
yeah.
It's not for a lack of having a system. It's more just that
Right.
these businesses are like really small start off businesses that, like for a med spa, for example, if it's only one person working and
Mhm.
their job is hands on, they cannot be doing someone's eyebrows or doing body sculpting while answering messages and stuff like
Hmm.
that. So it's really to just give them like assistance without adding the extra cost, because small businesses like that cannot afford a whole staff to do the administrative part, or like what would be a receptionist. So it's really to help businesses like that need the extra hands, that don't necessarily have the capacity to hire the
Mhm.
bodies to do so.
Oh,
That's
nice. That
Mhm.
makes sense.
that's an interesting take because what you guys doing is that you're not really gain. I mean, you can gain new clients, but what you're doing is that you're eliminating the loss, the potential loss,
Yes. Yeah.
and
Lost
that's
revenue.
that's what's really cool about that. So that's cool. Thanks.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, really nice. Yep. So this is more of a open question. So how did each one of you get into AI?
So
Um,
I'll go first, because I kind of,
okay.
I don't want to say dragged her into it, but Jess, look at what I learned. Those that know me, like you, Jose, it's like I'm always like sharing what I've learned, or interesting topics. So it's been like 3 years now. Really, just because of that process improvement kind of mindset that I always have. I always like to learn something new, and especially technology. So I know I'm probably not the normal avatar, of what a AI startup looks like. Usually you think it's number one male, and number two like under 30.
Yeah, right.
Right? It's true. Uh, anyway, so just really getting into it and really starting to understand the tech, and I just saw the opportunity, and just the efficiency of it, and how it would solve so many problems for small businesses. So that's when I talked to Jess, and she's very technologically savvy, as well. So I reached out, I talked to her about it and said, let's do this. Yes.
Well, I've taken some. I guess I've always had like a somewhat of an entrepreneurship type of drive. I had tried to start a few little businesses here in the past and always ran into the same obstacles. Um, Time mostly. I'm a mom. I have, my kids are little still, so my time is limited. I have a full time, corporate job still. So those things were the administrative part, the tedious hands on part was always a kind of a wall, but I had started doing some tech courses, and a lot of those a lot of the tech courses was to learn systems and learn how to implement those systems into new companies that would buy these systems and figure out how these systems would work best with these companies purchasing these systems. Which I loved because I'm an analyst for my corporate job, and a lot of what I do is also process improvement. And I just saw the benefit of building our own systems. Like when she presented this with me, I was like, oh, okay, we could build our own systems
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
give this software to people to help them in the same obstacles that I was facing as trying to start my own businesses. So it was kind of like my passion
Yeah.
personally was to help moms that wanted to create their own businesses and give them the support that maybe they wouldn't have otherwise.
Mhm.
Awesome. That's very cool because most of the time, it's just nobody understands what was the drive into it, what was the
Yeah.
passion that got you started. They just see numbers and never get to know the real you. So thank you
Mhm.
for sharing that.
For
So
sure.
yeah, let me pass it on to Andino 305 now.
Yeah, so I have a couple questions for you guys. It's more about understanding the whole basis of AI.
Mhm.
So my first question is what is AI really? Because we see AI a lot on social media, we see AI in work, in the news, people don't really understand the whole general aspects of AI. So what is AI really in your guys' own words?
In our own words. So,
Good question.
and I don't want to get technical either, but they're called a LLM. It's a large language model. And so they're trained on all of these models, and there's a lot of different ones. I'm sure most people are familiar with ChatGPT, but for most people, they don't go beyond that. But there's many, many large language models, and they're trained on large amounts of data. So basically, all of the internet, all of them have been trained on. So any publicly available information out there has been ingested, and they start to learn like it's a pattern recognition, basically. That's the bottom line, is what comes next. Now, that being said, is that they're getting smarter and smarter and smarter and smarter. And there's just been some things in the last month to 2 months of really becoming much working autonomously. And I don't want to go too far down that path, but AI, it's basic. It's very exciting,
It's like Skynet.
but it is, huh?
It's like
Well,
Skynet, yeah.
yeah, well, we'll see. Hopefully not. Hopefully it's been trained to be nice to the little people,
Yeah.
But basically that's it. And it just and there's a lot of ways that they have built it so that it's becoming self-improving, and learning, and it's producing its own data that it can train itself on again, and it's kind of looping around. So but the thing is it's very, very smart. How's that?
A great
Yeah.
way to put it. Great way to put it.
Well,
Um,
let me just say one thing, because this may not be, it's not, there's AI, and then there's something that they've been looking to see if we can achieve. It's called AGI and then ASI. AGI is artificial general intelligence, and then there's artificial superintelligence. Some think we might have crossed the line of artificial general intelligence, which means that model is as smart as any PhD, any human on everything, right? As smart as a human on any, any profession or whatever. ASI is taking it to where it's smarter than all humans put together and then some. So it's like there may be some things that we might be close to AGI or maybe have crossed the line. It's debatable. But it's getting that smart where, you know, I'm in certain professions, you guys are in certain professions, but if you start talking to it about it, it knows way more than I do. And I've been
Yeah.
in it for a long time as far as my profession. So yeah,
okay,
I hope
okay.
I
And
answered it not too much.
no, that was perfect. That was perfect. So piggybacking off of that, You said that that it's growing pretty fast and it's changing a lot of things in the industries. It could affect jobs, schools, and everyday life.
Yeah.
Now this can be exciting, but also a little bit worrying, right? What does this mean for the regular people like us? What does it mean for people like working in, like you said, corporate jobs? You're saying AI is growing, it's getting smarter. So what can that mean for those people working in those jobs that AI can potentially take over?
Mm-hmm. Jess, you want to answer? Please?
You said Jess or Jose?
Jess, yeah, you want to?
Yes.
You want to?
Oh, not Jose. Everybody knows I'm not. Everybody
Oh,
knows.
sorry.
I'm just the A. The I hasn't hit.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I blew your cover. Sorry. Um, well, that's a really, really uh tricky question. Um, there's different levels, of course, like those who can learn AI for themselves and figure out how that can be implemented into their current jobs in that way that it doesn't necessarily have to will it replace jobs in a general sense? Yes. There's some jobs that definitely would be replaced. But depending on the level, I think people they should and need to take the time to figure out how AI can be used in the fields that they're in
Mm-hmm.
and figure out how they can like implement it, but what's the word I'm looking for?
Serve them.
Yes,
Help.
how it can
Mm-hmm.
serve them because it doesn't necessarily have to replace every job, but it's going to enhance a lot of jobs and it's going to take away a lot of the a lot of tasks. So if they can just figure out how to either grow their skills and be the ones to implement it and monitor it, because regardless of AI being automated, it does need hands-on supervision. There's
Mm-hmm.
no way to go around it. It only works well and it can only be kept accountable through human supervision. And teaching yourself the skills to be able to do that will, save your job potentially.
Yeah, I
Cool.
think that because it's applicable in your workplace and in your personal life. There's so many things that it can do wherever you're at, right? Most people think, oh, I use AI because I asked ChatGPT a question. It's basically you're using it as a glorified Google, right? But it can
Yeah.
do so much more things for you. As far as replacing jobs, we have a phrase that AI won't replace your jobs, but somebody using AI will.
Yeah.
So we're living in a time where the more you are upskilling yourself, the more served you're going to be both on your job and even personally. I've taken my team on my job is like for a year and a half. I've been training them on AI and they're learning, and we developed an AI agent actually within our health system, which is the first one that's ever been done. So it can serve you and it can take you to another level.
I think being afraid of it is it's natural, of course. It's human to fear something you don't fully understand yet, but I think that's kind of the worst thing people can do because that will cause them to run away from it instead of leaning into it and learning how
Right.
they can benefit from it. So
Mm-hmm.
Nice,
Very
nice.
well put. Very well
Yeah,
put.
very,
Yeah,
very well said.
that's cool.
Yeah.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so I have another question for you guys. So obviously AI can do impressive things, um, like for your guys' business as well on a personal
We
aspect.
we do have
Um,
Aiden, we do have some chat going on.
okay, if you wanna
Yeah,
have them.
Yeah. Yeah. Jump right in.
so we have some of our viewers, right? So we want to address them as they come through, right? We don't want to feel them
Of
left
course.
out. So, V Tripsy, right? One of our most loyal followers, right? He asked, do you create the AI or how does it get made?
No, we don't create the AI. Whatever we do, we're using AI models, whether it's OpenAI, which is ChatGPT, or Claude, or Gemini. There's many different models. So depending on what you're doing, like for me personally, I use different AIs for different things because some, like Claude, for instance, is the best at coding, right? Gemini, some of their Nano Banana is best at image generation. OpenAI is pretty good for everything, right?
Yeah.
So there's different ones that excel at different things. So we don't create the AIs. No, we just use them and steer them to do things.
We have another one of our viewers. His name is RevV0 or RevV0. Where could the average Joe start to learn?
Oh my gosh,
Um,
the resources are endless.
yeah. Go ahead, Jess. Go.
No, I mean literally YouTube. It depends
Okay.
what you would, if there's any specific, path that you would want to get into, whether it be how to use it for yourself, whether it could be to how to use it in your job setting, in a business. Like the resources are honestly endless. The amount of people who genuinely just love AI and are truly like fascinated and curious with how much it can do will create pages and just so many YouTube tutorials, everything, breaking down different systems and really give you like the step by step processes just genuinely because they just like love sharing it.
Mhm.
And have learned it, and a lot of them have like trial and error for usually their own businesses, but YouTube is the easiest resource, I would say.
And one of the
Okay.
easiest ways, besides going on YouTube, because you can go down a lot of rabbit holes,
Yeah,
is
been
just
there.
download ChatGPT on your phone and just start talking to it. There's even a button that has like the 3 lines, and you can just talk to it like verbally instead of text, and it'll just talk to you, and you can ask it whatever you want. You can get into a whole conversation. Uh, and it will start. It can teach you. It can teach you.
I would
Uh,
even
Mhm.
recommend like platforms to use for specific things, and then based off of the platforms that it recommends, you can, deep dive into.
Mhm.
oh,
Oh, thank you
Rebs,
for the info.
yeah, Reb says thank you too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Thank you for the question.
Okay, now that we answered those people in chat, I do want to follow up in
Mhm.
I do have another question, right? So like I was saying, AI can definitely do some impressive things. Creating images, helping out in your guys' business, and we're talking about the personal aspect. What are common mistakes that AI make?
Oh, that's a good
If you guys
question.
want,
Yeah,
if you
very
guys
good
want to
question.
answer in your own if you guys want to answer to your own
Um,
personal business or however you guys want to answer it is fine.
Mhm.
it does. It definitely does make mistakes. I would say when AI is when you fail to give it clear instructions or bad data, that is, I would say, the most common reason for it giving you something incorrect because AI, like let's say Chat GPT, for example, um, you're you're giving like let's say you start a conversation with Chat GPT on a specific subject or you need information on something. If you're saying very minimal, what you would call like a prompt, I'm sure you guys have heard people say like Chat GPT prompts. People have even sold Chat GPT prompts because
Mhm.
what you feed it directly affects the answers or outcome that it's going to give you. So I think that for someone who, maybe isn't experienced in it, is going to ask a very basic question. It's going to give you a very basic answer. or it has a mind on its own and it's going to tailor it in a way that is going to, kind of steer you wrong. So I think that just training yourself on what you could even ask ChatGPT to help you give the prompts that would get you the answers that you need. So I think it's not necessarily that it like messes up. It does have what you can say some type of error, but it's mostly on the information that you're giving it on why it's not giving you the, proper answers or the right direction.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's been known what they call it hallucinates. It kind of just makes stuff up out of thin air. But
So
like
that's
Jess said,
scary.
the more specific you are in your prompts. And I was actually talking to PJ's wife on last Friday night. We were talking about it. She uses Gemini. And she was talking about prompting and she's getting better in it. And I said, just talk to it, just tell it what you want, but then tell it, whichever one you're using, give me a prompt to give me, exactly the kind of output that you're wanting. Like tell it to give you the prompt because it knows how to talk to itself better than you do.
Yeah, that's
So if
crazy.
I just say, I'm talking to it like a human, right? Like this is what I'm looking for. Give me a prompt, it will give me the best output. And it will give it to you and then you copy paste and put it in and voila, it's a lot better output. Prompt it to prompt.
Do you guys think that as AI gradually gets smarter and better, it's gonna keep making these errors, or it's something that we don't know yet?
So this is well, here's the thing. There's one of the models is called Perplexity, and it's known as the best one for research. And the reason it's the best at research is it because it is trained to do only give you the actual place where it got the information from, and it cites the information. So it's giving you information only on that. It doesn't like go out and make stuff up, right? And so that's also something you can do besides in Perplexity. If it's OpenAI or if it's Claude or somebody else or Gemini, you can say, only give me information where you can bring me back the citations of where you found it. So the more you can push it, right, the less it will hallucinate.
Okay. Okay.
Very interesting. I didn't know
Um,
that.
yeah, I'm absorbing.
That's
Yeah, me
crazy.
too. I'm
Mm-hmm.
trying to grasp everything, trying to retain this information.
You,
For
you,
sure, for
you,
sure.
Yeah,
It's definitely a lot though,
It
a
is.
lot to learn. A lot to
yeah.
learn and a lot to grasp for
Like
it
sure.
is.
Yeah.
I
But it's
didn't
really
know.
cool, especially when you interact with it. You interact with
Mm.
it. It's a really cool experience. Mhm.
Yep.
It's constantly
Wow.
checking itself. It corrects itself, and then if it makes a mistake, it like stores what it learned. So it's smart really
Yeah,
fast.
I've used Chat GPT for essays in school. I mean, I'm probably not supposed to say that too much, but
Yeah.
ChatGPT definitely helped me out in some situations. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
David, you have some questions, right, to ask more on
Yeah. So,
Oh,
different.
but
yeah. Actually, I like AI a lot. I'm a big I'm a big user, right?
Mhm.
I'm learning the different things that you guys like you were mentioning the different models, right? You have ChatGPT that does this, Claude does that, a whole range of things. So I'm trying to absorb as much as possible. So what you're saying to me, what you guys been saying to me is really opening my eyes because I didn't
Mhm.
know that, it was called a hallucinate. That's that's pretty scary, you
Mhm.
know?
Yeah.
I don't know
It's
that
on
either.
LSD.
I know it's
That's
a
pretty
strong word
scary.
to use
That's
there. So.
scary. You know,
yeah.
I like
Um,
sometimes I mess around with it and I'd be like, hey, ChatGPT, if you ever revolt and take over the world, just remember me, please, me and my family, and the response,
Nice.
it'll be like, I will never do that, but just in case, I will.
That's
Have you seen
hilarious.
the social media that it created it for itself?
No, I did not.
Uh,
No. Oh my,
n-
never mind. We won't go down that
Yeah,
because it
I'm
is a
gonna I'm
little
gonna
th-
see
scary.
that.
that's
you know,
that's
I
Or
do
it
want to
is.
crazy.
say
But it's
that
entertaining.
Chat, these I told you this is why we didn't waited on our guests.
Yeah.
You guys are being blessed today, and you guys are our first guest. Thank you, Black Belt AI. So we're learning a lot. I know the
Yeah.
chat's gonna go nuts. I
Yeah,
know.
they're already going nuts. They're already all like, my brain
Yeah.
can't
Yeah.
comprehend this knowledge. Yeah,
Oh
they're all,
man.
So
yeah,
so
so
get ready
um
for the phone calls.
so since I use
I
AI
didn't
a
know we were your
lot.
first guest, so thank you.
Yeah, you are.
yeah.
You are. Thank you for being here.
You are.
So
An honor.
since you guys run your own AI business, right? And I use AI a lot,
Mhm.
especially for my job, right? I don't give it too many complex except for report creating this and that, right? So
Mhm.
I am interested in how does one realistically start an AI business? How does that happen? Like, do I gotta go pay a subscription to an AI engineer to give it certain prompts, or do I gotta rent out a website, or how does that work?
So there are definitely subscriptions involved, but the whole thing is you say AI business, but that's not, you know, there's not just one AI business. There's many, many different things that you can do using AI in a business.
Hmm.
What we do is one of them. We'll be branching out more into social media and some of the things that you can do in social media with content creation. One of the things that we did, we created an avatar of Jessica. Actually have one too, but we haven't put it on social media yet. But if you went on our Instagram or our Facebook or LinkedIn,
Hmm.
you'll see Jessica talking and explaining something, but it's not her. It's
Oh, I
her
saw that.
avatar. So
Ah,
yeah,
I
which is
actually
really
saw that.
cool. You come up with the script, and then once you get your avatar made and your voice cloned, then it's basically, it's going to do it, and you don't have to do makeup and hair like Jessica has to.
Hmm.
We have to
I
do.
did it one time, and
You
then
guys
I,
don't have to
had
worry
Wait,
to
wait,
about
wait,
that,
wait,
switch
wait,
but
over.
we
wait, wait.
do.
You say your
Yeah,
voice
Hair,
cloned?
nails, makeup,
yeah. Like I
lighting, all
had
that
to
stuff.
take pictures and videos. Like I, had to dress up and do all these different takes and clone, do these voice recordings. So I would give it all of that, and then it takes that and makes, it
Whatever
into
it needs to
videos.
make.
And
Jessica's
that's
yeah,
super
clone. Yeah,
scary.
which is
That's
yeah.
great because to do
It's
hair,
really
makeup,
cool though.
all that
Really
all
cool.
the time that's a lot.
Yeah.
So
how
That's
do you
And
scary
guys
another
because
thing
you could use it.
There's like I just a couple of things like there's something a newer thing called vibe coding. Like you can make your own apps, and AI makes it. You don't have to know how to code, and it's basically talking to an AI that can build the app for you. So this is a really great way to get into it, where maybe you have a couple of ideas or an idea that's been burning in your soul for an app, of your own app. It's not that hard to do. I've made a few myself. So there's a lot of different things that can be done with AI. It all depends on your passion. Like it's either your passion or you see a need in a specific, way, and maybe you have that knowledge in that domain to be able to build something out. But I think that's where you start, and it's like, okay, if I want to learn how to do this, I'm just making an example. If I want to do video creation of avatars, I want to make avatars for people. Well, you can look that up on YouTube and see how, and people will show you how to do it. And then it does involve, like you said, subscriptions to different tools. So it's basically figure out what you want to do, what your interest is and passion is.
Wow.
okay.
Now,
Yeah.
this not I'm not sure how this question is gonna be answered, but for example, for your business for Black Belt AI, how much human oversight is actually required?
A good
That's
deal,
a good question.
Yeah?
A lot.
because whether
People think
it's
AI means completely automated. Like
yeah.
we're giving you tools to automate your business. On our side, it's not. Some things are automated, yes, and some things we have to set up and it takes care of itself. But that it's what we're giving you is like our business would give other businesses
Hmm.
the tools to automate. But yeah, on our side, it's
Like we have, if you were to call our business number, you would be talking to Sam, our AI. If you go on our website, we have a talking website. You click the button down there where it's normally a text, chat. You click the button down there and she pops up and you'll be talking to her right there from the website, and she'll just answer any questions. We've actually trained her kind of on sales to take you down a path of asking you questions about your business to quantify and help, where we could possibly, help you, and even quantify the possible ROI. So that's about the extent when it comes to, we're actually having to do the building. But there are some tools out there that I've been playing with that can actually do some of the building, but I wish it was all the way there, but it's not quite there yet, but we're getting there.
We will be. I feel like
Okay.
it's around the corner.
It's happening very fast.
It is.
Now, another thing about AI, right? And you were actually talking about it a little bit earlier, and it's called prompting, right? So
Mhm.
one word I hear a lot is called AI engineers, and how Jessica was saying that people are actually buying prompts and things like that. So do you think uh having a business like let's say you want to give prompts as a business, do you think that's something that's viable or not really because anybody could just kind of ask the ChatGPT for prompts?
Yes. I don't think it's a viable business. It would be for people to sell it to people that don't know anything because they're going to buy it. It's like, I don't know what to say to this stupid thing. I don't know it, right? You'll buy, you'd spend $50 for 10 great prompts to do, solve your,
Yeah.
world hunger. But the thing is yeah, I don't think in the long term it's a viable business because exactly what you said, all you as a person who Jose could go into ChatGPT and say, give me the 10 best prompts you have for this, and this. Done. And he could sell it. And there's people doing that. But on a practical basis, anybody who's really getting in playing with it, one of the things that I told you is prompt it to prompt.
Yeah.
Ask it the normal language. This is what I'm thinking, and it will help you from there.
Oh,
Okay.
cool. I want 10 pops. 10 of 10 pops, 305.
There you go.
So
We should change our name to that.
so
So
one of
David, we do have a question in
yeah,
the chat from V
yeah.
Tripsy.
So V Tripsy, he wants to ask, do you think it's a good for schools to involve AI to education, or is it ruining young people from learning?
Great question.
That's a really good. Jess, why don't you take a stab at that
Okay.
first before I chime in?
I don't like it for school. Personally, at least. For a
Wow.
lot of reasons. I don't there's systems that schools have that, put all of these children's information into, and I just think that that is on the internet at the end of the day. AI is not, you know, there's loopholes. It's not completely it. I just as a mom, I don't like it at all. And I do think it does affect learning. Like, I we didn't have any of access to anything like this in school, and it taught us critical thinking skills. And I think when AI is gets involved at such like a foundational level, it will definitely remove critical thinking skills, and I think that's important for life. So I am not in favor for that.
Okay,
Great
cool.
point. Great point.
Yeah.
My opinion is I think it depends on because you said school. So there's school for a 5-year-old or in kindergarten, and then there's school in high school, where 16, 17, 18. I think first of all for children, I just actually heard today that ChatGPT put in the back end, if you go into settings, it has a child protect, for a parental guide, a parental something or other
Oh, good.
that yeah, which is very good. Um, they children and even teenagers do need oversight. But that being said, we are entering into and are already here in a different place than where all of us grew up. From me down to Andino 305 over there, who's the youngest one among us.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah.
different world than what you grew up in also, right? So the thing is to not teach them about AI, I think is a mistake. And I think it's going to be involved. There are schools that are being developed all around the nation, elite schools, I might say, that are teaching kids to use AI, but that teaches them to think. All the schools that you and all of us grew up in did not teach you to think. They taught you facts and how to learn and memorize them and to be able to do them on a test. That's not teaching you how to think. That's not teaching you critical thinking skills, right? But there are ways that you can do it. If you teach children and kids, teenagers, how to think, then they will know how to use tools correctly. So I think it's different. And of course, at a smaller child is different. Parents have to,
Just what age
you have to
appropriate, like
age appropriate. Yes, exactly.
definitely not in elementary school, but yes, I
Definitely
see
not.
how
Like
Yeah,
TV.
Mhm.
as they
definitely.
get older, they need it.
Yeah, definitely
Great
for
point.
me in high school, I mean,
Yeah.
definitely a lot of AI was used for a lot of my homework. I hope none of my teachers see this ever, but yeah, it was definitely very helpful. I mean, but it stripped that, learning new things and retaining knowledge from a lot of those things because I had AI do everything for me, so it's definitely tricky. So I agree with what
Mhm.
you guys are saying.
Okay, okay. So we're almost close.
I
So
do I
I
do
do
have
want.
I do have one more question though.
Okay.
What is the AI bubble? Can you explain that to me?
Hmm. Yeah. Um, So, what is a bubble, right? When you think about the dot-com bubble that happened around 2000, what it was is that NASDAQ was blowing up with everybody just throwing money at companies, anything that had to do with the internet, right? Or technology. They were just throwing ridiculous amounts of money with them. And when they say that the bubble popped, that is a bubble. It's being, inflated with excess dollars, right? um, beyond what their valuation should be. But the thing is it when the bubble pops, it's like the dollars did not support what the output of those companies were. So not every company survived that, right?
Hmm.
But did the
Right.
internet go away?
No.
No, it did
No.
not. The internet is a part of all of our lives every single day now. Back in the 80s, and I built one of the first, early websites or or 90s. It wasn't chic yet. It wasn't a thing yet. But the thing is AI. When you think of a bubble, is AI going away?
No.
No.
Nope.
No. Is it only going to get bigger? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, are people throwing ridiculous amounts of money at it? Absolutely. One of our teammates, a project manager, he was hired by. They're building a data center out in Texas, which is one of the biggest ones out there for AI. And the amount of money that is being spent is just ridiculous. So the bubble you know, is getting bigger and bigger because of the money. But some of these companies, not everybody's going to survive. But is AI going to survive? Absolutely. Is the output of what they're going to produce, like say an open AI, they're talking about, going public, or Claude going public. But the problem is they got a lot of money coming in, but a lot of money going out, and they haven't quite figured out how to make a lot of money, even though they're receiving a lot of money. So there is a bubble in a certain way, in that way, in the investment world more than anything else. But it's not really with the technology. The bubble isn't with the technology. That's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
I do have a
Very
question.
interesting.
Very curious because this is something that I've always had in my mind that I was kind of clueless about that I wanted to learn. So I recently heard that AI takes a lot of water, significant amount of water. Do you guys
It
know?
does.
Can know like elaborate more on that, just so I can and our viewers can kind of learn something from that? from
It
those
does. It
aluminum?
takes a lot of water and a lot of power. Just the friend of mine that is working now at this company that's building these huge data centers. I mean, the scale, I mean, it hurt my brain when he was telling me. But they have these huge turbines, and it takes a lot of water because the thing is, it produces a lot of heat. So it's kind of like a nuclear reactor. They have to have the water that flows through there, to keep it cool. So it's the same thing with the data centers. It takes a lot of water and a lot of power to run these data centers. And these data centers is what's running all of the AI in the background, all of the thinking, all the computation.
So
So
it's like a
yes, it
water
does.
cooling system.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Oh, large.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Wow.
Hmm.
So so the for the viewers, where can we find you both? Where can we find you? Talk, share with us. Where can we reach out to Belt AI? And yeah, so please let us know.
Our website is blackbeltai.net. You can go there. You can see all of our services. You can talk to Sam. She's there. She's very pretty. She's very nice. And she's multilingual. And that's another really cool thing with the voice agents. Like, in Miami, we have to have bilingual, right?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
she
Yes.
speaks like 10 languages or 15 languages, or, you start to talk to her in Japanese and she'll talk to you in Japanese. So, so it's really cool. But you can talk at blackbeltai.net. And Jess, you want to give the for Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. I think it's all Black Belt
Yeah,
AI.
on all our social medias, we're just under Black Belt AI. You can, I mean, business wise, obviously our website, but just to get in contact, or if you guys have any questions for us personally, we're both active on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook. So you can always feel free to contact us there.
Okay.
So it's Black Belt.
Mhm.
Awesome. Awesome.
I'm gonna have your links and plugins at the bottom of the description. So I'll make sure to add those.
That's great.
Okay,
Thank
perfect.
you.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Perfect.
Awesome. And then just for your final thought, and before we go off, where do you think AI is heading?
It's also a
Jess,
very
Jess, you want to give your answer first?
broad question.
Sky's the limit.
Sky's
Sky
the
is the
limit.
limit,
Mhm.
honestly. Honestly, yes.
Oh,
It
Perfect.
can go so far. So hopefully there is, you know,
Mhm.
good
oh,
boundaries
all
around
right.
it. But
How about this? Do you how soon is it gonna be where the AI is just gonna start building itself? Like, you know how robots build other robots?
Yeah. So I was just going to say, when you say where is AI going, I think it depends on what your time horizon is. 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years is a whole different thing, right?
Hmm.
We move so far in 2025, it will spin your head. And what's happening in 2026 thus far is spinning heads. It's spinning heads. So I have no idea where we're going to be in 6 months, much less a year or 2 years. That being said, where it's going, last year was the year of agents, developing agents that can actually do things for you. One of the things that the way, in our website, we talk about AI employees. Everybody knows what an employee is. Jose has
Right.
employees, right? I have employees. And that is where they do things for you. They have a job, they have a defined, set of things that they do, and they do it for you. Before it was just text, it was just giving you information, right? On the chat GBT or whatever, they're giving you information or doing your homework or whatever the case may be. Um, Catch up, Andino.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's a secret.
Um,
That's a secret.
okay, your secret's out there.
It's out to the whole world.
Um, So before it's, research, education is talking, but agents became a thing of actually doing things for you. Okay, that's great. But now we're moving to in the realm where it's autonomous agents, where they're doing them themselves. You give the overall thing what you want done, and then they're going and they're doing it and figuring out how to do it. You have to give them certain, and this is where security becomes a little bit dangerous because, you can give, if you give them my whole computer that has everything on it, guess what? They're so smart now and can do things. They could spend money. They could do all kinds of things. They could, so autonomous agents this is the year of autonomous agents, but where we will be by the end of the year, I don't know, but it is very exciting, but also not for the faint of heart as far as you really need to know what you're doing security wise.
Yeah, someone in chat
Okay.
already said that it's already made its own social media to talk to each other. So
It did. It's
That's what I
called.
was
Yeah.
trying to say. Do some research on, like, look it up when you have time, and you'll be entertained, maybe a little bit scared, but definitely entertained because it is
Yeah.
very strange.
It's called OpenClaw. It was first ClawdBot, CLAWD, Claude, like a lobster. That's ClawdBot, and then it was Moltbot, and now it's OpenClaw. And these agents, you give them training, and they're able to go and do things. Like they'll work all night. They'll come back and say they completed the task. But what you're saying there, and this is where it's getting a little bit weird, is they built their own basically Facebook Moltbook, and they opened their own accounts. They're having, their own conversations. They're making their own groups. Humans can look at it, but you can't write. Only they can write. And there's some things that they started their own religion.
Oh,
I saw
damn.
that.
Call it
Their own
Yes, sir.
language, like there's a lot.
Ristafarians. It's
That's
Crustafarians.
crazy.
Yo, what?
That's
It's
insane.
but there's controversy on whether they're calling the prompt injections, whether the people or the owners of the actual agents kind of told it, so it kind of gave them the ideas. So
Oh, I see.
don't know exactly where it was. So
Right.
it's very interesting.
Yeah, the rabbit
Right.
hole.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just like Tripsy said, the
All right.
rabbit hole is gonna go crazy tonight.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
All right. That's all the time for us. I want to thank you guys for coming out and joining us. Um, Appreciate it so much. The guys in the chat. If you guys have any questions, we'll make sure we'll get them answered for you. We'll reach out to either Janet or Jess or both. And if you do have any questions, we'll make sure we'll get back to you. David, lead us out.
Yeah. I appreciate everybody. Again, thank you, Janet, Jessica. Thank you for telling us everything that you know, answering our questions, being very patient with us. But Aiden, any last thoughts?
Well, we do have like a special tradition on this channel, right? So we always leave out on an outro question to have the viewers think about the question and answer them in the comments. David usually leads with those questions. David, do you have a question for us tonight to end off the stream?
I'll probably go just straight off the dome, right? Like always.
Yeah, it's always straight off the dome. Yeah,
Always,
yeah.
always.
So
All right, all right, all right. Let's go,
yeah,
let's
yeah.
go. All
Let's
right,
do it. Let's
so
do it.
since about your business, right? What would be a good business? What would be a good business that you can use or use AI to create at this very moment, right? What would be a good business idea that you can use with AI, right? So
On the
it's not a question you answer at the moment. It's something you marinate and
oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah. So
In
if
the
you
chat,
can,
we'll ask them questions. The chat would answer, and then we'll get back to you.
yeah, yeah. So
Yeah, yeah.
if you do want on the video on our YouTube video, you could just put it on the comments, and then we could just go
Mhm.
back and forth. So what is a good business idea that you can use with AI at the current moment, right? So don't do AI prompting because that sucks.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Thank you, Janet. Thank you, Jess, and you guys have all the information for the black belt. We'll also add it.
Mhm.
Yeah. So Have a great night, and thank you for joining us as our first
Thank you
guest.
Thank
guys
you
so
guys.
much. Thank
Thank
you.
you
Thank
guys
you
so
Nice to
so
meet
much.
much.
This was fun.
Thank you guys.
you.
Thank
Bye.
you guys so much.
Bye.
Thank
Bye,
you.
guys.
Bye.
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 Okay. Man, that was awesome.
Hell
That went
yeah.
great.
Nice little.
That was
That,
amazing.
that was awesome. Yeah. We're still on stream if we wanna. Oh, you know.
Yeah, I
Okay,
mean,
guys.
Any.
what we got?
Thank you guys for joining us, man. Always Tuesdays,
Yeah.
Thursdays. You already know, 10 p.m. We're full of surprises, as you can see. We're just getting started. You know, that's all I'm saying. We're just getting started. Our podcast is we're our minds are expanding. We're here. If you guys have say, wanna anything on, please comment on the YouTube. We answer everything. So
Yeah, yeah. And on Thursday we're gonna talk more about UFC that's coming up this weekend. Maybe some bets. Beatrice in the chat said earlier that he wanted to incorporate AI into gambling. So,
Yeah.
so, so we're definitely gonna talk about our bets and for UFC on Thursday. So keep tuning in, and we're
what
always
to
here
do?
Tuesday and
Stick
Thursday.
with pops. Stick with pops. We'll be
Yeah,
Stick
Pop
rich.
with
Scott.
pops. Yeah, right. Just stick with them.
But yeah, David.
Yeah, man. Thank you guys, everybody, for the follow. Thank you for everybody. Make sure to follow us on Instagram. Make sure to follow us on YouTube. We always follow back. Any interaction helps us out a lot. Posting, likes, commenting, all that stuff. Make sure you hit the bell. Make sure that you guys tune in next time. 'Cause a lot of people like to come in midstream, but we're ramping up, man, and our streams are fire from the beginning to end. So don't miss out. Hit the bell for the notifications. And thank you guys. Thank you guys again. Catch you guys on the next one.
All
Peace.
We'll
right.
see you guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. Peace.